Start the morning right with a cup of Vinyl Tap. Nothing beats the refreshing taste of a hot, warm mug of Vinyl Tap. Enjoy your podcast in liquid form today. Vinyl Tap. Enjoy responsibly.
Welcome to Vinyl Tap. This is
JBB.
Jason. If you're new to this, which we are, the way that we dictate what albums we choose is through a theme. Tim, what theme did we use?
Unexpected.
You didn't expect him to say that, did you?
Bet you didn't.
That's right. Our theme was unexpected. We were supposed to choose albums that would be unexpected. Well, like we all
Not
expected
unexpected
it, yes.
by choice, but musically unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. The theme was broad, but the music was unexpected.
Yeah.
Um,
So in order of listening, I suppose we should begin with my submission, The Moody Blues Days of Future Past.
yes.
Was that unexpected? What did you expect?
I'm going to pass that to Jason because
okay.
I'm going to
Unexpected.
just think about my answer.
I think it was unexpected. Knowing that they were a rock band from the 60s, I was expecting something akin to the Beatles or the Eagles or somewhere in between, somewhere in that kind of ballpark, and not a minefield of popular genres of the time plus some orchestral music. If you had given me hundreds of guesses, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, and then it opened up with the whole orchestral thing and the whole Gershwin thing, and I was like, okay, well maybe this is just gonna be a classical thing, and Tim has just blindsided us. But no, it did end up being prog rock.
There was rock in there.
There was rock,
yeah.
and it was pretty good. And I don't know.
Yep.
I was
Didn't
I was
expect that,
thoroughly
did you? Didn't
surprised.
see that coming?
Oh. I don't know.
Well, that's Tim's dealt with
Yeah, I
for the
suppose
moment.
I killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tim,
well done.
tick.
Next we had Jason.
We did. Pseudo Hive from elsewhere. Bibi, Tim, either of you? What you expected, not what you expected?
Not at all what I expected.
I think we were sort of both in agreement. We were maybe expecting synthwave,
Yeah.
particularly based on the cover, which
Mm.
I think may show up in a second or two.
Yeah, it's been
There we
coming
go.
out. Yep, there it is.
But no, it was kind of like, what do we call it? Space rock.
Space metal.
Space metal, yeah.
We're coming around on that. Yeah, I was certainly expecting something less heavy, like
Right.
something more ethereal, maybe. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely, you never would have guessed that there'd be something there that would harken to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of, I don't know, I have a bit of an idea of what metal would sound like now, and that was not it. There was a lot of kind of quoting to earlier stuff and just kind of almost like a retro feel to it, which I thought, it's not something I've really ever heard before.
Very cool.
Indeed. I think so.
Jason, tick.
All right, so
Yes.
lads, I said that you're going to listen to some punk music from the 80s, so thoughts?
Well, my initial reaction was you're a bitch-faced liar, aren't you?
Maybe.
But because that's not punk from the 80s, is it?
I think
Except it is, and I
Except
was
it
not
is.
expecting it to be like so.
What did I think about Egg Hunt? I'd say it fit the theme very nicely. Very snugly, I would almost go so far as to say that it is almost not the genre that it is.
That you said it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's only
Liar.
and contextualizing it how you have where the people who made it had come from punk and then made more punk directly after this. It's kind of hard to say that they weren't punk artists making punk. And I was really expecting, knowing the sorts of bands you go to see live and the stuff you listen to, I was really expecting hardcore punk. So it did catch me off guard.
Yeah. Tim?
I'm in absolute agreement. I was although I think we were kind of in different directions. You were expecting kind of what Biebs listens to more these days.
Yeah.
Whereas I was kind of expecting more of a Sex Pistols kind of thing. Not that it mattered because it wasn't that at all. Yeah. So, Beebs, you better check your back because you've got a giant tick.
Woo!
Gold stars all around.
Right.
Look at that.
Were there any other ideas that tie these albums together?
I think excluding Egg Hunt, the two albums that
Well,
you
here's
guys.
the thing, Beebs. I mean, all of them. No, go on then.
So the two albums that you guys bought were very like, I don't know what you call it, thematic. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tracks kind of built a story, and then like the track names, actually no, the band names don't really count in this,
No.
but there's definitely like a, I don't know, imagery that was painted with the songs, title names, the way that they're all put together. I think that sort of linked your albums quite a lot, actually.
Yes, I do agree, but as Tim was pointing out, that doesn't obviously encapsulate all three,
All three.
including Egg
I
Hunt.
think there is a way to tie them all together because I think they all have a place in history in the development of some genre or another. Because Moody Blues is like seminal in the development of prog rock.
Mm.
Egg Hunt, as you said, that's kind of a stage in punk where it's moving on from this very heavy, dense, to this more melodically influenced, expressive
Mm-hmm.
era, right? And it remains to be seen for Pseudo Hive, but I
Yes.
think that it could be a point in history that's the beginning of something, because I've never heard anything like it. It's fusing a lot of different elements from different genres, and I think it really could pave a path for more bands, more albums in the same vein, have a really unique aesthetic, just donated to, that came from that album.
I'm going to posit something, and it might be a little bit cooked and far-fetched. However, I felt like there was a lot of sort of quoting from the 80s, like from the synth sounds, from the, I don't know, just like the metal sound of the 80s. And I think the last sort of few years, and when this was released, there has been a big, like, going back to
Yeah.
the 80s. And I feel, or like what do you call it?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, reminiscing.
On your term quoting, a potential theme could be, albums that quote or sound like other people. All throughout today, we've said this bit sounds like that. This bit sounds
But
like
is that just us being us by tying it back to what we know?
What else are we gonna do? It's what we know.
Oh, well, we can talk about it as though the music existed in a vacuum. And that'd be boring, wouldn't it?
It would be very boring.
Mm.
So, potential. I don't think it's as solid as Unexpected, but maybe albums that sound like other things or remind us of other things.
Yeah.
It could vaguely fit into that. It'd probably be stronger candidates for that theme, but it potentially could work here.
I can see that working. Thoughts on album artwork overall?
Oh, they're all beautiful, aren't they?
They are. I love the absurdity of Egg Hunt.
He's looking for eggs.
He's looking for eggs.
Where else would you look? He's in
really
a carton.
upset that there's not. I mean, there are little egg-shaped things on Days of Future Past, because I was going to argue that the album art links them because the face is meant to be an
Yes.
egg. The moon could be an egg in Pseudo Hive, and then there's like little moons and suns and stuff that could maybe be eggs in Days of Future Past.
Those
So
actually
maybe
have the numbers of clocks. Like
there you go.
yeah,
So they're
it's 12
clocks. So it doesn't
meters
quite
and-
work.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say maybe our theme could just be egg.
Could just be egg. I mean,
Just
I think
egg.
all things just end up being
It's a
egg.
trying time.
But I mean, there's moons down the bottom there. You can see. So if we're gonna call the moon an egg
Right.
in one context,
Today's episode is brought to you by
egg.
Egg.